We're back to the RavenCourt, and we are on Cursed Hollow. Look at that, boys. No Towers of Doom in this one. We have Team Kure going up against Team BananaH, and ooh, yeah. So far, the red team has not won a single map, which is actually quite crazy, because I believe this is now their 4th match that they are playing. And that is a bit nuts. So with the star power that they have and all the name recognition on their roster, I would have expected them to do a lot better than they're currently doing. But they seem to be really struggling when it comes to team synergy. To be fair, the last time they played, it looked a bit better, at least in some of the games. They had a bit more momentum there. Generally speaking, though, they are struggling quite a lot. BananaH's team is a little bit hit or miss at this point, so when we're looking at the top teams currently in the RavenCourt round robin, where we currently are, the first phase of the tournament, the teams that stand out up to this point are Team Skok, Team Dino, and Team Madara. Those 3 teams do by far the best and are leading the charts here. Now, all of this can change. We're still fairly early in the round robin, maybe like halfway through soon TM. But obviously there can still be a lot of things that change in the standings, but that is the current trend, at least, let's put it like that. Now, a quick note, when we're also talking about drafting, one thing to remember is that every single hero can only be played once within a series, so they've been using some of the rules that I established for my Meta Madness series. There's no pre-bans, but there's at least that heroes can only be played once. We had this also in the Nations Cup just recently. But definitely something that you should keep a bit of an eye out when we're talking about, hey, this hero is not available anymore. Also, while we're talking about the Nations Cup, if you for any reason are watching this video without having watched the Nations Cup, I can only highly recommend that, particularly if you're watching this on YouTube, that you're going to the playlists and you're having a look at the Nations Cup playlist.
Your loyalty is noted.
Jesus. That was actually... Why is that playing on this particular... Notifications are hitting hard right now, and they shouldn't hit here, so yeah, we're having more issues. Anyways, where was I? Nations Cup, exactly. So, if you haven't seen the playlist yet, check it out. It was the first big offline tournament that we had in a long time in Europe. Actually, in Europe, it was the first one in, I don't know, ages, at least of this size, with international players, players from Korea, players from the US, and also players from Europe. So if you haven't checked that one out, I can only recommend that you do so. It was definitely the best tournament in the last 5 years. So have a look. Yeah. The alert threw me off a little bit. That should not have played there, and we're gonna dive into that a bit, I suppose, in a second and see where this actually came from. But either way, now we got Sylvanas, Blaze, and Anubarak as we're starting things up. For Cursed Hollow, I actually like it quite a lot. I love also how Sylvanas is becoming more and more stable as a high priority pick for a lot of the teams, because they're trying to use macro against the opponents. And in regards to macro, we have the Haka and Brightwing to counter any potential pushes from Sylvanas as best as they can. But yeah, in addition to that, we could still see the birdie, we could still see Falstad. We haven't really seen any focus in picks on potential fights around bosses, as we've seen sometimes in the past, where with Falstad and Gust you can get more control over the boss point. If you're going for Tyrael, for example, you can also use the Sanctification to do that. He's been a very popular pick for that particular reason on this map in previous games, but this is also the first game of the series, so a lot is still available here. We still need a main tank, and well, there's Falstad. So they go triple global, they get Falstad for Gust control, and we get Genji. So already, right from the start, they are having access to a lineup that will allow them to run circles around the opponent's team. But I'm curious to see if this is going to work for them. Then again, keep in mind, Cure's team has not won a map yet. We're not even talking series. We're talking maps. They haven't won a single map. Now we're getting Uther and Kerrigan. So they're going full stun here. Blaze, Anubara, Kerrigan, Uther, all coming in with a huge amount of CC. And that could well be the winning ticket if they're able to force these fights. But of course, there is a chance that the blue team is going to just try and play around them a bit more. So we're definitely going to have a look on that. Final pick for our first map in the best of 3 series here on Cursed Hollow, and it is Murden. Dwarf in the house. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to go. First game in the best of 3, Cursed Hollow. Let's go straight in. Alright guys, game on! Team BananaH against Team Kure. Fair warning before we're going into this, apparently this notification problem is still going on and I have no idea where the sound comes from. So to all the headset users I can only say pay a bit of attention to that. On the left, BananaH and Genji, Hazops on Forset, Mitra and Dehaka, Vexo and Brightwing, and Uki is playing Muradin. On the right side of the map, we got, well, first of all, we got a lot of action going on, but we got Mopsy on Anubarak, Legacy on Uther, Gia on Kerrigan, Kure on Blaze, and Make on Sylvanas. And normally what I'm trying to do when we're going through all of these games live on Twitch is that all of the alerts are pretty much restricted to the time outside of the game itself, so that people that watch it on YouTube are not currently pestered with it. Now, unfortunately, this is very likely technical difficulties here coming in as I tinkered around with alerts today. Will very likely be taken by everybody who's watching now to sub, of course, at exactly this point to have some fun with me. Because for me, the alert is also really loud, so it's not only you guys. I'm sitting here with a headset and it blows my ears off every single time it's going on. So, yeah, after that, we're probably going to check it out. I also tinkered a little bit more and hopefully it's gone, but yeah, it's a bit wild. These alerts lately, they do whatever they want and it's just crazy. Now either way, we got for Uther on level 1, as you might have already seen, the Hammer of the Lightbringer, so we have quite a few boys that are going to bring the hammer down today, Muradin being one of them, Falstad, Air, Muradin going to be the next, and it is time for a couple of camps. So, let's see. Oh, early invade from the blue team already. Now, obviously, if you are currently in the middle of the round robin and you know that you're going up against a team that has had a very bad track record and really struggled, then you also expect that you can just roll over them a bit. And Kure and his boys, they gotten a little bit better when it comes to their coordination, but they still are waiting for their first map win. And Banana's team is roughly in the middle of the pack up to this point, but still has a much better track record than what we've seen from Team Kure thus far. So, level 4 kicks in for the two teams. Also, one thing to again point out is that there are two American players on the side of the red team, and they are playing cross-server on the European server. So, this by default means that they have a bit more trouble with ping than the European players would have. Now, this is not the only reason. There's obviously a lot more going on when we're looking at what's happening there. Yeah, and there we go. So, a lot of loyalty here today. So, Leo is apparently part of this game too, but who's not part for the next few seconds is Genji, because he just got sniped, and this is first blood for Team Kure. So, Kure's team guys are able to not only get first blood, but they destroy the entire wall over here, and they are looking pretty okay in the early stages, so I like it. I like that they're finally coordinating this bit better. They obviously went full on hard CC train with their strategy, and it's been working out, at least the early game. Now, if they can keep this up throughout the rest of this best of 3 is of course a very different question, but at least right now things are already looking a bit better than historically they have for the team here. So, as is, let's see what else we're gonna get. We already have another quick hit coming in. Uki, another Stormbolt. They're going for Kerrigan this time, so the blue team trying to pay them back in kind. Gia retreats though, and the rest of the team has his back, so no kill against Kerrigan and Team Kure. We have a level 7 now. They also got the first tribute, so good for them. Falstad is joining us for a bit of fun down at the bottom of the map, going up against Kure himself, who's now rotating over. And with all the globals that we see on Team BananaH, they're now doing their best to just out-rotate them a bit, make sure they don't miss out any minion experience on these side lanes. Hazops in particular, of course, now also with the secret weapon. So already looking for a bit of a build that would also allow him to do more structures if he stays on the side lane. Sorry, damage against structures when he stays on the side lane. Nice holding the stun combo back. Well done here by Gia. Brightwing saving Mitra for another second. Dehaka gets out, turns around, hits Mopsio, and Anubarak is gone. Really nice coordination by Gia initially, but they still couldn't get the kill. And then it is Anubarak that falls a second later. Job well done. Now, we got on the side of the blue team by now also another camp that they can claim. They got their first tribute, so they drew even with Team Kure on the objective. Top side, Brightwing. Again, they're going to keep a global on these side lanes for pretty much the entire game. If you're running the Haka, Falstad, and Brightwing right from the start, you're already signaling that you're at least thinking about just making a pure macro play happen. And they can do that. They also have some space control with Falstad and the Gust that he can use. Any battle around the boss could work in their favor there. Vikings playing this incredibly smart. He already knows that they want to go for a quick fight, so he is diving away from the fort as they're going deep for it. Another stun comes out, mirrored in with a Stormbolt, hitting Maka, and immediately Uther's ready for it. Kerrigan still at the bottom of the map, so Gia didn't have an opportunity to come in with a combo over here. Couldn't really do anything in that case. We got nearly level 10 on the board now. The blue team has taken a slight advantage, and the next tribute spawns in 14. So they're being slowed down on the rotation. Good juke for Maka as he avoids the Stormbolt. Down to the bottom of the map. We still have Hazops sitting in the wings. Also, of course, providing vision for the team now. And is able to get some easy free damage in against Kure. Eats the Stormbolt on the other hand, but we have a couple of stuns coming in. Nice attempt against Kure. Even with the X-Strike, they couldn't get the kill though. And now level 10 is kicking in any second for the red team as well, so they can actually fight for this one. Mopsio though gets another hit. Stormbolt comes in, but here's Kerrigan, misses the combo as Genji moved out. Gust being used, forcing the bunker from Kure himself as they're trying to force them back even further. Divine Shield on the side of Uther, and Sylvanas still has the Wailing Arrow she could use if needed. Wanna try and make that play. Yeah, and they're already starting to slowly come in here. Have at the same time a little move towards the middle, tapping the fountain again. So yeah, looking for some fountain control here at the same time. Quick hits, yes, 1 stun, 2 stun, Kerrigan with a combo. They're trying to go for Uther and for Mirrodin on the other side. Mirrodin the one to fall. Vakes gets attacked as well. And that should be a second tribute for the red team. Blue team having some problems, but also still some mobility that they could use to buy some time for Mirrodin to come back. I don't think they're going to have enough for all of this. Uther in particular, if he gets a hold of Genji, is going to make sure that he's going to regret that very quickly. But BananaH is still skirting the edges here in an attempt to delay this for as long as possible. And gets another one. He's being really annoying about it. But now he has the X-Strike out, so yeah, a little bit unfortunate, I suppose. Off we go. Another quick combo being used against Falstad just to zone him away. The second tribute has been gathered. That means that the next one has to be fought over by Team BananaH. If they don't do that, then they just accept that they're going to be cursed here. And I don't think they're going to like that too much. So yeah, that would be a little bit annoying to say the least. But down to the bottom of the map, the first boss is already getting attacked, and in this case it's Team BananaH that wants to lock it in. Team Kure hasn't made a move for their own. They're going for the Bruiser camp instead, so they're actually falling behind a bit. They have no idea that this is happening. I guess by now they sniffed it out since they had no vision. But as they are approaching their own boss topside, the blue team can now easily move in and try and contest this. And since Falstad is pushing at the bottom of the map with a boss, that's also a bit of a problem. Kure gets rooted here, but it seems that Team BananaH is not really willing to fight over it. There's still a tribute spawning. They needed to win this one. They need to get it. So instead of going for the boss, they're just getting a free tribute. And they get also damage done down at the bottom of the map as Hazops pushes against Siege Giants and boss with this little setup here. So, job well done. But either way, now as we're going for this, we got also another quick hit coming in. With, yeah, the mid lane being targeted next. So they're trying to take this one down quickly. And they're doing a pretty decent... Oh my god, Leo! Yeah, Leo is a little bit loud today. This man has some lungs on him, especially for a skeleton. This is quite impressive, I gotta say. Also impressive what Falstad has been doing, but he doesn't get caught as he flies out. So Hazo has taken down the fort at the bottom of the map. Now, to be fair to Team Kure, up at the top we've seen a similar picture because the same has happened here. The Haka wasn't able to take it down before the fort gets destroyed, so structurally they're fairly even. The fort in the middle now being dropped too means that Team Kure actually pulls ahead. From all the games that they've played so far in the round robin, this is by far the best that they have shown. Now, doesn't mean that they're going to win this one, but at least this is looking a little bit better for them. So yeah, this isn't looking too shabby. Now, with all that said and done, we're now looking at another quick attack happening over here towards the Siege Giants. They're going to take those out. And I'm actually flabbergasted that nobody is attacking the Tribute Channel. I have no idea what exactly BananaH's team is doing. I guess they are just looking at this thinking, we have camps on both lanes, middle and top. Our bot lane is incredibly zoned out, so we just let them take the curse now. This is one of the best opportunities we're going to get to defend easily against it, and very likely we're not going to suffer any structural damages. So they just allowed it to happen. They didn't want to fight into them. I highlighted earlier how this is more a composition that is trying to play the macro game against the opponent's team. So with that in mind, they don't want to go up against someone that can CC them for days. So given the situation that we had on the map, this was probably their best shot to have a fairly good defense against a curse, and they just said, okay, let's tank it. Let's take the whole thing and see where it gets us. Push in the middle is now happening again, so Team Kure is trying to at least get something out of that. And they're coming in swinging, trying to break through the gates and the towers to drop that keep, or at least damage it. Both teams are on level 15. The curse is strong for another 7 seconds. Likely not going to be enough to take the keep down, but at least they could open it up, damage it a little bit. The fight is still happening over here. Gust being used as they're trying to go for Carrigan. Divine Shield to save the day. Mopsio is gone again, but a good combo from Carrigan, and that's the kill against BananaH and Muradin. Genji and Muradin both down, and all of a sudden it's a 4 versus a 3 that they could use to go straight for keep with the help of Sylvanas. They're already doing exactly that. Kure's team finally showing some teeth over here. Coming in and taking that one hard. Level 16 on both sides now. And that was actually a fairly good curse for them. Now, they didn't drop the bottom fort, but they can still rectify that with Sylvanas. But the important part is really they were able to take a keep out, and that's about as good as it gets in that situation. Carrigan now also with the painful spikes here. We have the epicenter for Nubarak, so a little bit more going on for him. And at the same time... Okay, letting the minions do the work. For a second I was like, come on boys, drop this one. At the same time, just looking at the damage, we now have 21,000 for Sylvanas, 17,000 for Genji, which definitely isn't enough for them here. We have Gia getting attacked now too, going for the camp. Gia with Carrigan obviously focused very heavily, has the Chrysalis and can always dodge a bit whenever he gets attacked. They're trying to time the camp now too. The important part is, of course, that the next tribute will also threaten a curse against Team Kure. So this is where BananaH's team is trying to get back. Mopsy already with a bit of an engage. Probably going to eat that Stormbolt. Nice move from Usa, making sure that that's not a problem. Even Divine Shield being used just to save the day. A lot of ults thrown out from the blue team in particular, trying to get them. Well, one ult. A lot of abilities, one ult. On the other side, we've seen even the Wailing Arrow. Another combo, and again, Genji's down. Gia is wrecking them with Carrigan currently. Gia is setting up the kills with Carrigan and is doing a great job on this. 3 deaths on Genji already, and they are looking for more kills now. And keep in mind that the bosses are also coming back up. They go for Muradin, another stun lock, and the Dwarf barely getting out here with another jump as the tongue connects, but still, Team BananaH has to be super careful here. And now they're trying to get the boss at the bottom of the map. They obviously run the numbers advantage over the opponent's team. Uki is going to double check what's happening here, but I don't think that the team can really claim this one. They're going to see if they can get an easy and quick kill, but it's highly unlikely. Genji is dead for another 5 seconds, and even with Falset getting his Gust back, it shouldn't happen. And yes, they were fully aware of the potential cooldown play, but the boss is about to be taken if they're not going to pressure Muradin more. Rexu is also low, but it's a numbers advantage still for the red team, and eventually they should be able to grab this one. Muradin jumping out, Genji coming back, but it's already too late. The tank couldn't sustain himself through all of this any longer, and therefore the team moving back, the boss taken. Another quick look at this, by the way. So over here, as you can see, Genji, he started to come back, but Muradin was forced out, and then the boss gets taken towards the end. And now as the blue team is defending, we have another boss about to be claimed at the top. Even with all the globals that we're seeing for Team BananaH, they won't be able to get there in time. So yeah, job well done. Really nicely played around the gust too, so Mopsio diving in late to ensure that it couldn't be stolen away. Was a nice sneaky little move, and it nearly worked, honestly. Muradin was there in time, and he held it for a long time too. But Genji not being there at the beginning of the fight, this being a 5 versus 4 initially, really put them into trouble. And Muradin, he had to retreat. He would have died there for sure. Now they're fighting over this again. There's also the Divine Shield on Sylvanas, but that means that Mopsio might fall. Yeah, Uther tried to get in and save an Uberak, but he couldn't. So Mopsio dead. The boss at the top still going to do some work. Now, the ideal scenario, of course, would have been to get access to Siege Giants and the boss and then push with Sylvanas, but now that Anubarak is gone, they don't have that luxury anymore. So what they're doing instead is just simply trying to get that tribute. No? Hello, team? Really? Alright, it's a curse. I assumed that given the fact that we had multiple heroes at the top that would have taken a bit longer, they would have at least tried to delay it, but no. So they were worried that they were forced into a fight without their tank and just let it slide. That means that at the bottom of the map, their keep is likely going to get destroyed now. This is not going to be an easy defense for them whatsoever, but really nice play from BananaH's team. And this starts to concern me a bit. Team Kure needs a bit of a win, even if it's just a map at some point. There needs to be some progress, or this team is eventually going to completely fall apart here. They're playing way better in this series, in this first game, than they have throughout this entire round robin, but at some point they need a bit of success just to keep the motivation up here, I assume. Now, already in the middle of the map, we have the attack continuing. This time they're going for the next fort here, and you've already guessed that at the top we are seeing a similar picture unfold. Very likely that another fort is going to at least get damaged here. I don't think it's necessarily getting destroyed. The curse is only going to be happening for another 3 seconds, but there's still a siege giant that does some damage, and there's multiple minion waves now gathering. Level 20 is available on both sides. Lots of structural damage done by Team BananaH. And I guess they're going to get this one after all. Falstad is coming in, seals the fate of the topside fort, and that means that it is now dead even in structures between the two teams. 5 kills to 3. Still no Storm Talents taken by Nubarak and by Uther though. So we'll see what exactly they decide to go for. Kerrigan up at the top. We have multiple Bolts of the Storm already, and a lot of mobility therefore. Nubra could go for Rewind if he wanted to, just get some additional stuns out quickly. And Uther, Redemption obviously an option. But we get instead the Trader King. Alright, Trader King for Mopsio. He had some survivability issues and is now trying to mitigate that by picking this talent instead of Rewind. Muradin with a jump, and they're trying to go for Brightwing, the combo, and Brightwing gets out barely. Bulwark used from Uther. They're trying to get the kill on Genji at least. Brightwing again there to save the day, and the healer is picking, I mean, honestly, it's just keeping the entire team together. Vexu just saved 2 targets in the last one of them himself, by quickly using the mobility to get out of harm's way. But we have still the attempt to go for the next hit. Obviously, there's no curse that's being threatened. The only tribute that we see is in the hands of Team Kure. They would need another 2 for another curse. But each team is trying to dominate the team fight to potentially end the game. Yeah, X-Strike is coming out again. Cooldown reduction obviously in play now for BananaH. Another lick. Uther in trouble. And that is the end of Legacy. Legacy is gone. Team Kure is looking for the counter kill, but cannot get it. And what we had immediately afterwards is the blue team slowly retreating, getting ready to pick up the tribute. Boss at the bottom of the map up in 10 seconds, so they could go for boss and then try to use it to go for core. And that is something that Team BananaH is also aware of. So is Team Kure, so they might be forced into the fight that they don't want to take here. But Vexu is low. Vexu is really low. Tries to get out, is able to escape. At the bot lane, we already have some catapults amassing, but Falstad is dying. Falstad gone. Hazop gets caught and killed, which now means that there will be a numbers advantage for Team Kure. Soon TM. For now, it's 4 on each side, and the bot lane gets stopped. Marker moving in, making sure that he takes all of this out and uses possession to quickly take over the catapult, so that is going to help them even further. When Uther is back, there is actually a good chance that they're going to try and take that boss here.
And they should. They should use the time window that they have while Falstad is still gone, still dead, to make a play. Falstad, of course, has a global, so once that he's back to business, he can start to move in for it. But if they are trying to risk something, this would be the time to do so. And this is exactly what we're seeing from them. They have 19 seconds until Falstad is back. They're trying to get the follow-up kill, and they lock it in. Uther and his boys, they're taking the Haka down. Uther just arrived back in the scene. They had all the stuns ready. The Haka didn't stand a chance. Gia came in with his own combo. And now even if Falstad is coming back, unless he gets a good gust off and can steal it, they are likely going to lose that boss. Hazop's already sitting at the side, barreling over, trying to get the kill on Mopsio. Beautiful Divine Shield. Nicely done from Uther. Gets the Bulwark out. Another combo from Gia. Kerrigan with a big plays. BananaH is taken down again, the 4th time that he died. Incredibly well done by Gia. And they're looking for more kills, and they're finding them. Once again, Falstad is gone. Kerrigan is dead too, finally. But the boss is about to be taken. Uki, the last survivor, and spoiler alert, he's not gonna make it either. 5-man team wipe. They get the boss and they can go for game. What a beautiful fight here. Absolutely crazy. All over the place with Falstad then finally falling. They're coming in with Brightwing getting killed, and Kerrigan, after doing such a tremendous job in this battle, she gets picked off towards the end. But of course, it doesn't change the outcome here anymore. The Haka still trying to do his best, but the core is falling, and it seems like Team Kure is, for the first time in this round-robin phase, taking a W. They're winning Cursed Hollow. Well-deserved victory, 11 kills to 5, and this was nicely done. GG and well played.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Okay, we got good news. So, good news number 1. To my knowledge, the sound alerts have been fixed, or at least they're now a lot softer. And that shouldn't be a problem any longer. I will definitely have to tinker around with that quite a bit, so yep. The next good news is Team Kure has actually won a map. I know, I am surprised as well, and a round of applause is due. Nicely done, nicely done. Good job, boys. It took you a long time, but finally we have a map win for Team Kure. Now, that is a little bit annoying, I gotta say, for Team BananaH. So you have to put yourself into their shoes. They are in a situation where they are going up against an opponent that nearly everybody else that went up against them were able to easily defeat and gather some points. If they lose here now, that has a pretty big impact for their standings in the round robin, because at the end of the day it means that they are going to fall farther down, away from the top 3, where they probably hoped they would end up in. Now, the 10 heroes that have been played on the previous map cannot be played again, but I really want to see if Kure's team can maybe even walk away with a 2-0 here. It's match point after all. Aldork Pass is the map, so we'll see what we're going to get there. Also, as usual, quick shout out to everybody supporting the stream on patreon.com/Khaldor. As you can see down here, really appreciate it, guys. We've been running the esports scene in Heroes of the Storm for now 5 years, ever since Blizzard abandoned HGC, and without the support over there, this just wouldn't be possible. So thanks a lot for everybody that is chipping in there. It helps us to set up a lot of the events that you've seen in the last couple of months and weeks. I really appreciate that. And yeah, thank you. And if you want to support the stream, you can head over there and check it out. Now, Junkrat is getting picked first. We had first pick prioritized from the blue team after they lost the last map. And now we have Kure's team with the first double pick. Again, big map, so Lucio got banned, Hogger also eliminated. And a very heavy focus to target Mopsio, as it seems. So he played an Uberak, who's not available anymore. Muradin is not part of the pool any longer. And they target Jojo and Diablo, both heroes that he picked in the past, so they are trying to specifically target him. And this makes honestly sense. Mopsio hasn't really played the game for a long time before the RavenCourt started. He actually had it uninstalled, watched some of the pre-season games on my channel, and came in and said like, hey, what is this? Maybe I should install the game again and play a bit. And he did, and he was able to win several games in the pre-season, which then made him eligible for the player pool, and he got picked by Kure as the main tank here. So generally, of course, has a lot of experience in the past, but he's lacking a little bit of all that training and just the practice here. And it seems that the blue team is trying to exploit that as best as they can, target him particularly, and we'll see if that works or if it's going to backfire. Now Anduin and Tracer, so seems like a light bomb engage with Tracer is the plan here. Genji got already played in the previous map, so he's not an option. You can't quite dive as deep as you can with him in the Swift Strike, but Tracer is still extremely good to just stick to, let's say, Hanzo and try and blow him up here, get the stun in and eliminate him. Legacy with Rhaegar on Alterac helps also a bit with control of the lanes, still a big map. And, well, on the ban side, we get Sergeant Hammer. So I'm curious what exactly Mopsio is now going to play. He could still go for, I mean, let's say Varian, for example. They got Rhaegar and could technically follow up with a bit of a root thanks to the totem. We don't have Stukov or Malfurion, though. If one of the two would have been picked, then I think Varian would have been a really nice choice for him. But generally, there's still Garrosh available that could play around 2. They got first pick on this. And he goes for Tyrael, which actually surprises me a little bit. So, Tyrael here, good hero, but also a bit more on the squishy side. And if targeted properly, that could become a liability, as it has for other teams in the recent past, when Tyrael was consistently targeted. Now we got Urel, played by Kure. Make hasn't made a choice yet. Question is, of course, if he might end up playing even Hanzo and they put Gia on something else. I personally doubt it, but time will tell. Gia had a huge impact in the last game with Kerrigan. So we'll see. We get the Vikings! Vikings likely swapped over to Hazu, I suppose, and ETC at the front. So ETC is always a bit of a mixed bag. I mean, again, he can work out, but he can also become a big problem because he's also more so on the squishy side. But what is Make gonna do to try and now play around this? Vikings in the game is already wild. For big map like Alterac Pass is a cool pick, and I really like it. But let's see how they are dealing with this. Maiev gets taken. Maiev, Tyrael, Urel as the front line, and then Hanzo as the range damage. Alterac Pass, everybody! Team BananaH, they want to fight back here. They want to make sure they don't lose to Team Kure, but the red team has probably smelled blood in the water now and want to make sure that they're locking in a 2-0 victory. So let's find on Alterac Pass if they can pull it off. Game number 2, it's a Vikings game. On the left we have Hazu as expected. On the Vikings, he swapped over to them, the old man. Vexu on Anduin, Uki on ETC, and BananaH on Tracer, with my try playing a Junkrat. On the right side of the map, it is Team Kure. Drunk on the victory on Cursed Hollow, with Kure on Urel, Make on Maiev, Mopsio playing Tyrael, Legacy on Rhaegar, and Hanzo is played by Gia. Alright, let's go! We get first and foremost on level 1, we get the Feral Heart this time for Rhaegar. We also get ETC with the block party. No massive... I mean, we have some shenanigans around the prisoner camp with the Vikings, obviously. They gotta focus there a bit more on what exactly they want to do. If they are trying to just set... If Hazu is trying to set 2 Vikings up to steal the camp away, or if instead they're just controlling the lanes. 1 or 2, but yep. For now, what we get is the traditional brawl in the middle. Now, if you're playing the Vikings, of course you are looking at a strong 4-man. The whole idea is that Vikings can soak 2 lanes for you while your 4-man is being dangerous on the map, pushes down a lane, looks for kills, or something along those lines. So that's kind of the traditional game plan. This is why in a lot of Vikings compositions, the standard ones, you oftentimes see Sylvanas being picked. We had, like, one of the most craziest ones where you can really just speedrun a game if your opponent is not
prepared for it, is something along the lines of Vikings with Sylvanas and Greymane. So then you can really run into trouble extremely quickly if your opponent is not good enough to deal with that. So that can be dangerous. But here we have a good 4-man. They can go for some kill streaks, especially with Tracer. Just nibble around the edges, set things up, have Junkrat also chip in some damage and then take him down. But yes, either way, we are in the middle of the map now with the camps taken by both teams. Obviously one of the most important ones on all direct paths, which is these days a little bit more of a popular map. Vikings down to the bot lane. We currently have Olaf the Stout as the level 1 talent. And later on, when we have a level 16, this is of course where the real party starts for the Vikings, when they're going to participate in team fights with the stun on Olaf and going in with a large and in charge. BananaH, he had some trouble with Genji in the last game. I mean, it wasn't an easy one for a Genji player, a lot of stuns for Team Kure. Now the situation has changed a little bit. There's definitely not as many stuns around anymore, but they're still going to try and target BananaH as much as they can. So right now, up at the top, we got Kure now doing his thing, is currently starting to move through here, and we'll see what he can do. But yeah, they're going for Kure again and trying to chase him down here. So it's always the side lane gets targeted. The isolated heroes is what you're more or less looking for. Hans at the bot lane would also be a welcome target for the red team if they can send that 4-man down. But there's always a question of communication. And it seems today at least that the communication has improved for the red team. For sure. So yeah. Over on the right side, that's where we're now seeing the cam taken immediately after respawning. Obviously, the blue team is going to do the same thing. We're now 3 minutes into the game. Prisoner camp is coming up, and we have in another 2 minutes the bosses also appearing. And we'll see with Hanzo that they maybe make some approaches there, but we have explosive arrows on level 4. Also kind of noteworthy at this point in time. Haven't seen a kill here yet. When we talk about the prisoner camp, it's traditionally level 7 to level 10 where the teams are making their first moves. Exceptions are when you're running something like, well, Enubarak, Samuro, or Vikings, then you can always try and sneak it, as mentioned previously. You just send either a copy, Beetle, or another Viking in to occupy those grunts a little bit and use one of the others to quickly start the channel. So I don't expect them to go too ham on it and commit too much, but they're already trying to see if they can maybe get slightly ahead here. I kind of like it. We don't have level 7 yet, but it's going to kick in soon. So Divine Steed is in, and we got the Purification for Rhaegar. Obviously for the Vikings, you want to wave clear, you go for spin to win. It's all about just controlling the lanes. We have Balog at the top, Olaf down at the bottom, and they are just trying to go for the objective here. As long as they can force Team Kure to react in force, it also means that they can push out the side lanes and have more time for the Vikings to give them a lead and experience, which is these days a little bit more difficult because these experience globes obviously stay there for a very, very long time, but you can get structural damage in if your team buys enough time for you, and that's worth also a whole lot. So with Vikings, it's not necessarily something that just leads you to get an experience lead, as it was oftentimes the case in the past, but structural damage and lane pressure is still highly important, and of course trying to get an overall map advantage for your team. Now, here they are successful in getting an advantage. It's again Legacy that gets targeted here. They really want the doggy. I mean, holy hell. They're really on him. And Rhaegar gets indeed killed. So Rhaegar is down. And at least Junkrat falls as a result too. But they get a 2-for-1 trade as Hanzo gets eliminated. And they also got the objective. So for Team BananaH, this was a fairly successful attack. They claim the first objective and they get multiple kills with it. So this is looking very, very nice, at least initially. First cavalry, obviously not that strong, but still something that could help them to do some work here. Alright. But up at the top, we now have the Vikings pushing this one out and doing their thing. But down at the bottom of the map, obviously, Gia is moving in. And yeah, we now have the opportunity to even grab an early level 10 that might help them with a push even more. Rhaegar getting killed again. I mean, poor Legacy. He's getting targeted time and time again. And in this case, not only does it help them to break through the wall, but it also allows them to lock in that level 10 talent I've been talking about a second ago. That gives us also the mosh pit for ETC. and they're going straight in for that fort. So this one is going to fall. The rest they were able to save. But getting a fort with the first set of cavalry, with the first objective, is actually pretty good. That's pretty solid. So, job well done by them. Now, we're still waiting for Tyrael to make a choice on his heroic ability, and he goes Sanctification. Was threatening Judgment there for a moment, but given the build that we've so far seen from Mopsio on his frontliner, it was to be expected. Can also counterplay Mosh Pit to an extent, always assuming, of course, that he himself doesn't get caught by it. We have the containment disc, we have the arrow. There's a lot of tools where they can really shut ETC down. What it oftentimes comes down to is a bit of a game of chicken, where it's becoming a question of who holds which cooldown back for how long. And they are going for a boss already. I mean, they're gonna try and exploit the fact that the Vikings are not in any shape to properly fight yet. But Urel isn't here right now, so if they really want to go for a battle, they should get Urel into the mix too. And they are trying to buy some time for her. But Junkrat is already setting things up. ETC is starting to threaten something. They're going for Tracer here, trying to get the kill. They can't. ETC immediately interrupted on the mosh pit. The fight is breaking out. The boss has been leashed, and Macke gets killed. Riptire and Tracer doing the trick for the blue team. They lock in kill number 4. Job well done, and by now they're running a 1-level lead over their opponents. Yeah, it's really paying off nicely, the way that they are playing the game. They have the Vikings controlling the lanes, and now at the top, as you can tell, they're already attempting to channel this one. So Hazorps is occupying all of this, is now getting a lead for them. Very likely this is not going to lead directly to them locking in another cavalry, but they are going to get an advantage. Macke is now moving in together with Gia to force them back, but they already got quite some points here. So that's 13 seconds, 40 now that they accumulated. So nicely done. Totally worth losing Eric for. And while they are going for the prisoner camp, the boss gets claimed at the bottom of the map. So a very nice two-pronged play that they just set up here. They forced them to defend against the objective, or on the objective, and then took the boss at the same time. And that's exactly what they need to do here. So, yeah, job well done. But either way, we have down at the bottom of the map now another opportunity to take that fort down. Same time, at the top, blue team is attempting to force the cavalry again. We have level 13 as an advantage for them for now. That also gives us the line speed and jump for Anduin. Sorry, for the Vikings. Yeah, Anduin with jump would be a little bit OP. He's already annoying enough as is. Now just imagine if he had actually jump and could simply move out of a fight with a level 13 talent. Oh boy, that would be more than just painful. So yeah, that hero is strong enough, I suppose. We don't need that. Would be kind of funny though. It would be really interesting if we had some random mode, as they, I believe, have in Dota, where you can get random talents from other heroes. That would be just hilarious. I mean, imagine some of the combos that you could get. It's ridiculous. But okay, either way, we now look at a lead in experience by entire level. Olaf is pushing out the bot lanes. Hazorps is still controlling the lanes as best as he can. Having that boss at the bottom of the map helped them, of course, a lot. And now they are pinning the red team down at the top, making sure that they have to defend the prisoner camp. And at the bottom of the map, what we're seeing at the same time is just Hazu with Olaf controlling that lane more and more. Ult used early on by Kure as he got attacked here. Disc is out on Anduin, so they're trying to go for him. ETC catching 3 with a mosh, and there's nobody to interrupt it. Ancestral on Gia saves Hanzo, but this is getting a bit spicy. A little bit too spicy for the red team. They were really hoping to get a kill there, but Uki shut that down, and that was a very, very strong mosh pit from him. Catching 3 and not allowing for a single interrupt was absolutely fantastic. And as all of this plays out, not only does Mopsio get killed and caught, but we have the camp also attacked and about to be claimed. So they are looking at another set of cavalry traveling through the lanes. This is looking really, really good now. 5 kills to 1, level 16 talents. They're even going for the boss at the top. They're really hitting all the spots at the same time now. Urel is at the bottom of the map defending against Hazorps, trying to take at least Olaf down. But he now has Largen in charge and was able to stun her out and retreat. And this is obviously a disaster for Team Kure. They just don't have anybody that can deal with the situation. They're trying to find their ale in the middle of the map as they're going for a fort and try to take some structures down, or at least drop them in hit points. But they are going to be in for a world of pain with this push that is being set up by Team BananaH. At the top side in particular, you now have a cavalry moving in with a boss. You can kiss that fort goodbye. There's no chance of saving it. And even team fights are looking a bit grim if you consider that the level 16 talent gives Team BananaH a massive, massive advantage over them. So this is looking incredibly bad for Team Kure. They weren't prepared for that Vikings combo. They really started to struggle here. And as much as I like them dominate the late game on game number 1, you can really tell that the blue team wasn't too happy about it and is now just trying to murder them where they stand. That top lane doesn't stand a prayer. It seems like the first armor shield on the core is now going to fall. I don't think they can save that keep, at least if the poke continues. Vikings, talking about poking, still in the middle. Kure in trouble even against 3 of the Vikings, and of course all those minion waves, so he has to jump out. They are getting some of the Vikings destroyed, but 2 keeps are now in trouble. Vikings are slowly losing out, but he still had his ult available too, so they're coming in again. Kure has to pause his ult, but they saved the keep at the top, so I gotta give him some credit there. The keep at the top still gets saved, and level 16 is now also finally ready for the red team. And that was, yeah, that was definitely needed. Now, we got Ricochet in, we also got the Glyph of Faith, of course, already picked up earlier. I mean, duh. That was a level 20 talent previously, and then Blizzard at some point thought, you know what, this isn't strong enough yet, let's just make this a level 16 talent. That's totally normal. But yeah. Now either way, we have them a little bit on the ropes here. Not a single fort has been destroyed on the side of Team BananaH. Just a little bit of news. It's more or less about, honestly, team fights right now, because the problem that we still have for Team Kure is that they're basically 2 levels behind. So once level 20 hits, your opponent can easily pick up either objectives or bosses. If you want to make a difference here, you gotta win a team fight. So they have to pick a fight at some point and then do their thing. And it is not going to be easy, particularly if you have to deal with the Vikings at the same time. And now that the map has been opened up and all those forts have been destroyed, it leaves Hazobs a lot more wiggle room to be very annoying with the Vikings here. Still with Eric up at the top, controls that. A little bit of a battle down here at the bottom of the map. It's a lot of poke that's happening, more so than anything else. The disc isn't out yet from MyF, so she could technically try and force the fight here. Gets a tether, but Anduin ruins that play too. He's just such a killjoy. And man, yeah, boy. Can't really call him a man, boy, apologies. But yeah, so level 20 is nearly in. And, well, down at the bottom of the map, before they pick up their Storm talent, seems like they still want to fight this one out. We got the Riptire in too, looking for the next minion wave, at least. And yep, there it is. Burns this one down quickly. Vikings pushing the top, moving into the middle now too. And, of course, now with level 20, they go for the boss. As predicted. I mean, as called, the second they have Storm talents, they go for the boss. Why wouldn't they? Exactly what they need to do, exactly what they should do. Mopsio is coming in, trying to stop it with his boys, so they just simply decided that they have to bite the bullet at some point. They gotta take a shitty fight at some point during this game. They might as well try and go up against the level 20 talent. Arrow, beautifully dodged. Not sure if the sanctification was needed here, but they went for it. Saved the day. Top keep has now been destroyed by Hazobs and the Vikings, so that one's gone. And it seems like Maka is not making it out. Actually, he's going to survive this one. But yeah, so the top keep has been destroyed. Eric pushed the minion waves in, and the keep has fallen. Therefore, the first armor shield has been removed too. Down here, they go for Mopsio. They force him back even further. But now it's time to go for that boss again. Now the core is not going to be threatened by a single lane as long as there's only one armor shield missing. They could have tried and fight for this again, I guess, but now that they are on 19 themselves, I guess they're going to try and get a little bit closer and hope for Storm talents themselves. Things are not really looking too great for the red team. A bit of an understatement, I know, but still. They haven't taken the fort down yet. they're likely going to lose another keep at the bottom of the map now. And once that the second armor shield is removed, that's usually the time when you can go for the core 2. When you don't have to play around structures and lanes any longer and you can go for the win. Then the core is definitely vulnerable enough to make that happen. So they are likely going to try to do exactly that. But yeah, so down to the bot lane. Attacks are now happening. They're pushing this one in. They have also taken the objective again, so things are getting worse for Team Kure by the second. They are about to hit level 20. Maybe that is their salvation. I doubt it, but time will tell. Keep is already down to 50% HP, and as mentioned before, they won't be able to save this one, especially with the cavalry pushing in too. Ancestral had to be used already. Legacy went for the better safe than sorry play here. Some of this probably also due to the ping disadvantage. Want to make sure that he doesn't miss it, but now he hits and eats the Riptire. He dies. Tyrael is dead as well, and well, this is of course the end of game number 2. We're going the distance on this one, boys. We're going for game number 3. That is already certain. They're trying to go for Kure. He's the only survivor. Hanzo died, and that leaves Yrel as the sole defendant. 9 kills to 2, a victory for Team BananaH, and we are going game 3. Well done, Garden of Terror, everybody! So, game number 3. We're going the distance in our best of 3. And it's another big map. They went from Cursed Hollow into Alderac Pass and now Garden of Terror. Obviously, 20 heroes, the ones that have been played in the past 2 maps, cannot be played again. Heroes that I would expect to be played here. I believe Hogger has not been played, but only been banned thus far. So he's going to be either a ban or a pick. Same is true for Lucio. We have Greymane to consider, for sure. Generally speaking, you want to look at heroes that are also going to take mercenary camps. Sonya could be something that we're seeing now. Most globals have been eliminated. I guess there's a chance that we're seeing Samuro. But the band is already kind of nice, and it really shows that Team Kure doesn't want to run into another curveball like they did a second ago, so there's that. And let's see what else we're gonna get. For now, we got a Hogger, banned, okay. And I guess the blue team is going to target the front line again, hoping to push Mopsio more out of his comfort zone. They leave Diablo up on the other hand, so they banned Jojo again, but Diablo is up and gets instantly taken by Mopsio. So not even hesitating here. Mopsio gets locked in for Diablo, and now it's time for the blue team to show some of their cards here. God of Terror is a really interesting map considering that 20 heroes are now unavailable, because there's a lot that you normally want to get here that we don't have in the arsenal any longer. Globals, can't pick them anymore. Can't play around the Vikings. He has Greymane, as predicted. I expected him to be chosen because he is fantastic at clearing the mercenary camps, and I talked about this a lot, but the Garden of Terror is the map where you have the most mercenary camps. So if you have good and easy control there, that always helps you to put pressure on these lanes, which means we could also see Jaina. So Jaina has been played recently every now and then, not all that often, but she has seen some appearances. She's really good with her cooldown rotation to take camps too, so that's another possible choice for them if they want to rely on that. And there she is! Jaina is in. Stukov together with her. Solid lineup for them. Not saying that what we see for the blue team is bad. We have Malfurion, we have Greymane, 2 great picks. And here comes the ban on Medivh. Not a bad choice considering that you're going up against Make, and you could go for some really nasty combos if you're getting a ley line into, let's say, an Apocalypse or Ring of Frost. There's a lot of use in that, so they shut that down early. I'm more interested now what the side laner is going to be for Team Kure, I suppose. I was for a second thinking if maybe somebody is going to play Stitches here. When we're talking about, okay, what kind of tanks are still available, what could they do here? Technically, Varian could be the choice for BananaH. Varian's Taunt into Malfurion Root, a quick bullet from Greymane, and then some follow-up with additional burst could give you a sniper comp. You could go Stitches too, technically speaking. Try and land that hook. Malfurion follows up with the Root, and then you go for a very similar burn on the target's hit points, trying to get quick kills in. Very different playstyles, of course, in the comps in general, but they go for Garrosh and they lock in Leoric. Okay. So, Garrosh Leoric,
And the final 2 picks for Team Kure. Yeah, Kure specifically, what is he gonna pick now? With a different lineup, I wouldn't have been... Yeah, I would have really been opposed to the Zeratul pick, but for Kure, of course, that is a bit more difficult because of the increased ping that he has. Not impossible, he played it already, so it's not like it's out of the question, but instead they're going for Malthael and they're going for Mucke with Thrall. That leaves us with BananaH. He's been playing a lot of damage on Assassins, and there's still one slot open, so Hazops is currently the one that has locked in Greymane. What is BananaH now going to pick? Final one, Garden of Terror, 3rd map in this best of 3. It would be the first BO3 victory for Team Kure. They already had their first map victory here. And it is Chromie, the final pick for Garden of Terror, Game 3 in our series between Team Kure and Team BananaH. The battle begins. We are ready for more action between BananaH and Kure. On the left, we got BananaH himself, the captain, on Greymane, Uki on Garrosh, Hazops on Leoric, Maitri on Chromie, and Vexu is playing Malfurion. To the right side of the map, it is Kure, the captain himself with Malthael, oh captain, my captain, Mopsy on Diablo, Mucke playing Thrall, Legacy on Stukov, and Gia playing Jaina. That Poet Society, definitely an amazing movie. One of my favorites for sure. Quite old, definitely true. But one thing that I found fairly interesting, so after years and years and years where I didn't watch That Poet Society again, honestly ages, I watched it again at some point, and it totally bugged me that the actor looked so familiar and I couldn't place it. I didn't realize why, and it bothered me for days, and at some point I realized that the actor that played in That Poet Society played Wilson in Doctor House. So that was quite something. I had not noticed this before and I didn't get it, but once I saw it, it was just like, oh my god. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, That Poet Society, amazing movie. If you're looking for something to watch and you don't mind watching older movies, I would highly recommend. And of course, for you plebs that haven't watched Shawshank Redemption yet, get on it, please. Don't waste your time with this shit that is being released these days. Watch some of the classics. Also classic, we get a kill for Team Kure. At least in this series, they've been doing well with those first bloods, so they take down Greymane. BananaH has been deleted quickly. On level 1, we're actually getting the Lingering Chill for Jaina, and Kure is already on the camps. Again, camp clear is really important here. You need some heroes that do well on it. I highlighted Jaina as a potential pick, and they took her. There's Malthael as well. There's a couple of really, really good choices that have been made to get quick access to mercenaries, put them on lanes, get pressure going. Level 4, we get the Andoral Anomaly, and yeah, let's have a look. Down to the bottom of the map, still trying to pressure this one, I suppose. They're actually coming in with Greymane now too. If they can get BananaH on structures in Worgen form, then you can kiss some of these towers goodbye very quickly. But the rotation is on the way, so they are moving in as we speak. And Malthael himself now with a Throwing Shade. Yeah, Paralyzing Rage for Leo, so he's going to slow things down a little bit over here. And at the same time, up at the top, we still have our 1v1 playing out, because right there, as you can see, they are going up between Leo and the Angel of Death. And so far, our Angel of Death is doing pretty alright. They also have taken a small lead in experience. Good for them. And in the middle, they're still starting to chase Mucke a little bit. But Malthael gets soloed! What? I just praised him a second ago. And now Malthael gets soloed by Hazops. So apparently, he ran right into that slow and they got drained to death. That's a bit unfortunate. Well done by Hazops, but that should definitely not have happened on the solo lane. Malfurion getting caught here is, on the other hand, putting a smile onto the faces of Team Kure again. So now 2 kills to 1, dropping the healer just as they're trying to get the first seed. Mopsio a bit low here, and he might be in trouble, but Marcus coming in, pushes the rest back, and gives them some assistance here. So yeah, they're still good. Okay, they're still pretty sweet here. But then again, we have 2 kills to 1 and just a tiny lead in experience. Level 7 is going to kick in a moment. There's that. And in the middle, What we're gonna get here is Kure, yeah, just going for another wave. I mean, again, they're just poking, they're just prodding, looking for any kill that they can get. They have some slows here with Gia in particular. Good route from Malfurion. He actually would have nearly become the target if Gia would have been able to get a bit closer to drop his skills on him. Leo's now alone at the top. Seems like the red team is not really diving too hard for that seed. The position is a bit awkward. Doesn't really make things easy for them, particularly with Chromie on the other side, who can easily use her abilities from a distance. With that fort in the middle, is pretty difficult to play around. But also talking about playing around things, Uki is now getting murdered. They get at least a counter kill, so Jaina dies to BananaH. Each team losing one hero, but they are apparently liking their position a bit better around that seed. I don't see them taking it, honestly, with Malfurion and Chromie on the other side. They can delay it maybe, but actually grabbing this one, highly unlikely. Now we got the slowing sands too, so zone control is even better. And yeah, Mopsio moves back out. Thrall could lock him down nicely. Has not gone for stacking on level 4, but Jesus, look at him trying to get out of the slowing sands. This is what I meant with the zone control. My try has now so much that he can contribute in these little fights, in those choke points. So yeah, you want to get away from that as quickly as possible. I think once that Chromie had a level 10, this put the nail into the coffin for them. Now we got at the top a little bit of damage done by Jaina, one tower down, the gate down, so they are still doing well here. She also kept some of the cooldowns back and can now use them to snipe the camp here. It's a pretty even game. For game 3 in particular, it's still very even. And again, keep in mind, red team hasn't won a series yet in this round robin, so them winning here would be huge. It would be really big, would really help them. And now we have the camp taken over on the bottom left. So all the teams are working to retake their camps. And level 10 is now kicking into. So with that, let's see what exactly we're getting here. We have any surprises? Last rites? No. We get Earthquake again. Also doesn't really shock too much. Had quite an amount of thingy. What's it called? Not Tranquility, but the other, the Nightmare thingy. So, yeah, Malfurion, like the last two Malfurions, I believe, went into the silence. But in this case, we have them with the full sustain again. So, yeah. On top of that, Apocalypse. Yeah, they can set something up. No Ring of Frost, Water Elemental instead. Greymin, by the way, is now going at the bottom of the map for this. And, yeah, let's see what we're getting here. Yeah, so no Twilight Dream for him. But Greymin has... Greymin is a really interesting hero. I personally really like it when you have a good Greymin there. Snitch comes to mind, of course, in the days of HTC. And they still get the kill. He died. So interesting. The gank worked out, but then it's Thrall with the Earthquake that gets the counter kill. Okay, job well done. Each team lost one. It seems like they're just trading, time and time again. They're just trading blows one after another. Indomitable is in, but he's still slowed enough that he might fall. There's the last rites, and bam! Well played by Kure. But that was a pretty sexy kill there. They went for Garrosh initially. He had the Indomitable ready and could escape the slow. But then not only did Malthael get a stack, but they also got another kill. And since they are now running a 5 versus 4 on the map, they should have a chance to grab that seed, which is of course going to give them the lead. We're not there yet. Leo's actually going to go for the interrupt. Yeah, no! Oh my god, they nearly interrupted him in time. Mopsio was so close to going for a clutch play here. Let's not forget that Thrall is not actually at the bottom of the map. He pushed another minion wave out up at the top. Malthael gets attacked. Kure is dead. They get the seed though. So they sacrificed Kure, but they got the seed. And it's kind of worth it, honestly. I think that was still fine for them. So yeah, able to pull that off. Now we got 4 kills, 2, 5. And yeah, another attempt to go now for the bottom of the map to take my try down. He made it for now. Here comes the Water Elemental though. And they're trying to turn it again. The control is there, but Chromie is still firing away from a distance. Malphite and Leo are both not part of the battle, but the level 13 talents that we're seeing for Team BananaH give them an initial advantage. Mopsio pushing his way back out, but those slowing sands are becoming a massive pain in the ass. Yeah, 4 kills to 5, 13 on both sides now.
And yep, it's party time, honestly. They're really going for it here. It's a very nice game. It's like kill for kill the entire time. Everybody is just playing around the objective, the tributes, looking to get a gank on the solo lane, seeing if they can maybe steal a few mercenary camps. In this case, we had, for example, this one claimed after Garrosh has fallen, so that was a really cool play from Team Kure, getting the kill, getting the mercenary camp. Now they're pushing the bot lane even further. But just generally talking about all of this here, it is pretty interesting and will eventually result in a big team fight around the next seed, because that's where we're gonna get... Oh, nice. We get the kill on Diablo, but he still had the Soul Stone. So Uki apparently caught Dibbles here. But yeah, eventually it's going to result in a battle over this particular triple that's going to spawn there. The position definitely much better for Team Kure. The problem is that they are starting to lose heroes, but they're killing Leo. They might lose Thrall though. No, the Apocalypse is also up. Dibbles is obviously back. He had the souls and now kept only 25. Those are the Blizzard executives that made the choice to cancel HGC, in case you're wondering. And, well, they get a connect on Malfurion. They're going to take him down. Or not? No, he got away. They killed Jaina and he walked out of it. Good for him. But now the tribute is up in 4 seconds, and this makes things a bit awkward, particularly since they get this catch. I honestly don't understand why exactly Kure's team really felt the need to force a fight like this, because, yes, if you think you can win the battle, fair enough, but the safe play would have been to wait for this. They had a much better position on the seed. I mean, look at this. They have 2 fountains nearby. If they would have had 5 on the map while this is the case, then they walk away with the first one. So this is a bit of an awkward one in my opinion. They forced some fights, they took some battles that they didn't really need to take, and now they have to deal with the Garden Terrors. Now, it's the first Garden Terror wave, obviously some value is going to be had, but essentially, I don't think it's going to be the biggest issue. Right here, we now have level 16 kicking in for Team BananaH. I guess the Garden Terror at the top is not going to do too much. Here in the middle, they might be able to defeat it as well without losing the fort. Bottom of the map has already been destroyed, so losing one structure wouldn't be a big deal. Always assuming they can still save this, because BananaH and his boys are ready to take this one on. Top side is a 1v1 battle between Hazops and Make now, and Make is a bit low, but he has also some wave clear they can bring to the table. Second fort gets murdered. Now they're also going for Make, and they are likely going to get him here. So yep, there's a beautiful entomb, and even the Earthquake is not going to help him. Apocalypse getting used to zone them out. Is he really going to walk away? He is. And now they're trying for Chromie. Greymane comes in, and yes, that is the War Chief gone. He gets dropped. They're trying to go for Malthael. Last rites, not successful, but it's 8 kills to 6. It really feels like the last few fights were all turning in favor of Team BananaH ever since that battle before the 3rd tribute has happened. So they gotta be a bit more careful with this. We have level 16 on each side now, so talents are dead even. The Alpha Wolf, despite the fact that they didn't go for the quest talent on level 4. But another staggered death on Team Kure, and this becomes a problem here. They're really starting to run into this downward spiral again, where they are losing one hero after another, staggered, which makes them play with 4 on the map pretty much exclusively. So that is a huge problem. But then again, at the top, they're nibbling at the keep wall. We also are seeing, of course, again, the Siege Giants taken. If you have the numbers advantage, steal some of those away as best you can. And now the tribute is spawning again. Another opportunity, potentially, for the red team to fight and get their own Garden Terrors. And honestly, in this case, they really want them. They really need them too. So if they want to make their way back into the game, this is a big opportunity that they should try and use while they can. But what we're also seeing is the blue team taking Siege Giants at the bottom, one catapult already in place, the second one coming in. So the longer this fight lasts, the better for the blue team. They're going to get mad keep value at the bottom of the map. And Mitra is going to interrupt this like over and over again. So they have to try and eat some of those shots with other heroes, maybe go for a double channel as they're doing right now. And they are trying exactly that. And, well, they are not there yet, but the apocalypse is in. They go for Chromie. Nice dart over the wall. Gia was already in position. They control the choke point. They get the kill. Malfurion and Chromie are both dead. They get a triple kill as they drop Leoric. They're trying more. They go for BananaH. Uki is also low, but this is going to guarantee them at least the objective. The defense at the bottom of the map is also going to happen in another second. And they got Garrosh. Even staggered the kill here. Nicely done. That was exactly what they needed. I mean, look at this choke point fight. So well executed by them. And they're getting 3 kills out of it. A 4th later on in the form of Garrosh. And now there is a mad amount of momentum for them. The bad news is that a lot of these Garden Terrors have spawned very far out. So they have to travel the map to get the damage done. But they should still be able to take every single fort out. And in an ideal world for them, they would of course try and also get damage in on one of the keeps. They didn't lose their own keep at the bottom. They are now also ahead in kills with 10 to 9. And they are doing damage here in the middle. With Garrosh missing, there's also no real harm in getting a bit closer to the action. If they can get another one here, that would be even better. They lose Stukov. They kill Leo again. But losing your support is, of course, a big blow. That's the sustain gone. The mid lane wall has been destroyed. Down here, yes, this fort will fall. They're gonna get level 20. But with Stukov dying, their hopes and dreams died as well to get a keep. Of course, this wasn't really a situation where you can expect to go for core and end the game and therefore the series. But at least they're now destroying all the structures and draw even, not only in talents and experience with Team BananaH, but also with structures on the map. Now we're getting Inner Rage for Garrosh. So going full in on the body check. We have, what's more important, the Earthen Shield for Thrall, so that's already huge. It's a big one for him. Push comes to shove, also has been taken by Stukov. Chromie went in for the Unraveling, and we have Serenity. So a lot of AoE control just in general that gets locked in by the teams. Thrall's Earthquake can actually have a huge impact on what's going to happen here. So all eyes on him. I have no idea how this thing has not been destroyed yet, by the way, but it seems that Hazu can save it for a bit longer. I mean, didn't several heroes travel to the top lane? I thought I saw that on the minimap while we focused on Jaina down at the bottom. But yeah, either way. By now, what do we get? We have, in regards to damage, to give you a bit of... Oh, they go in again. They try for Chromie. She's dead. She has to be dead. There's no way. Chromie is dead. Uki actually threw Malfurion out, so apparently he decided that they won't be able to save her, which was kind of funny because she would have survived a little bit longer if that wasn't the case. They go for Diablo, but he's not the only one that gets hit. Yes, here comes Hazu again, and they get Dibbles, but he had his soul stacks together. So still a 5 versus 4 in another second, and more importantly, Malthael has his ult. He has last rights. But I love how the blue team shut down this attack that would have likely cost them the keep in this approach. Now, seeds are not really that important at this point in time because both teams are looking at 0. So it's going to take 3 to get another set of Garden Terrors, and it's very likely that the game is going to be finished before that plays a role. But yeah, I still love how Garrosh actually threw Malfurion away, and he's just like, nah, we're out of here, boy. Nope. We're not gonna save Chromie. We're not gonna save her. We don't give a shit. Chromie is not worth it. Half the size, half the worth. So she's gone. This is another Gnomie right here. And yeah, so he said like there's plenty of them on this map. Nothing that we really have to take care of. So yeah, he's like, yeah, we're out of here, boy. Decision has been made. An executive decision has been made, and Chromie, she has been judged, and she's just not worth it. So yeah. With that, we now have bot side, still the blue team setting up a little bit. Our little garden gnome is already back, so yeah, she's back to action. They should play an Easter egg game here. We have like one here, we have one here, there's one here, but this one's moving. So there could be an Easter egg game on this map for sure. Maybe you collect all of them, you have a big, all your minions turn in garden gnomes or something. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, now either way, one tribute in the hands of Team Kure, so they have a bit of a lead there. Second one is now spawning, but it's team fights that we're looking for and that we can expect. Alright, there's the Entomb. Diablo gets attacked again. Earthen Shield is out, but Diablo's gone. Diablo's gone, so is Garrosh. Both of the tanks have been destroyed. Kure gets saved. Damn, son. Nice. And they take Malfurion out. Team Kure is beasting it today. They want to win some games, apparently. Look at that. They're actually doing stuff. 50,000 damage for Malthael. They're playing around the objective still. So they're preparing for a long game here, despite the fact that they're running a numbers advantage. They're not trying to take a keep down desperately. Instead, they're going for the seed, and therefore the next one would give them another set of Garden Terrors. They also have the opportunity to steal some of the camps away. Harzops is already getting slowed. Yeah, they want to get a bit more here. The poke is still happening, and with Chromie just being a massive pain in the butt, there's also Greymane to consider, so you have two damage healers, but in comes Jaina, gets silenced, rushes out, ice block, and Azu is dead too. Even with Leo being back a little bit faster, this still hurts. That's a long time still. Now, losing Leo again, best case scenario here, better than losing Greymane or losing Chromie, but it's still a bit of a nuisance. And now another seed is spawning, 15 kills to 12. I gotta say that this is by far the best that I have seen Team Kure play thus far. And look at the stacks that we are getting for Malthael. Malthael is sitting at 6 stacks already. That is a sick cooldown reduction that he now has on his ult. Kure is absolutely crushing it on that account, and they have a big chance to running multiple last rides in a team fight now. So they give the seed up. They have no interest there, apparently. They have 2-0, so they know that this is easy pickings for them. So instead of going for the seed and entering a potentially deadly fight, they are allowing Diablo to stack his souls a little bit more and steal more camps away from the opponent. They also want to finish off that top fort, of course, finally, to make sure that the catapult pressure is equalized, which is exactly what's happening here now. So far, so good. But, yep, here we are. Starting to move over to left. Harzops is now defending things here. But, yeah, the fort couldn't be saved. I mean, finally they have taken it down. This thing was like sitting there with pretty much no hit points for how long? At least 5 minutes. So, right now, they can go for the attack again. There's a seed spawning. Better position, clearly, for Team BananaH. There's no forts around anymore, no fountains, but still, this is still a good spot. Malthael is key for the next big fight, and so is Thrall with his Earthen Shields. His ult can be the deciding factor. And you can see that most of the times they are not able to actually save their own heroes. It's always a trade. Like, most of the times it's really a trade that ends up happening, assuming that Harzops hits his Entomb, his Buried Alive. And up to this point, at least, he's done a stellar job with that. Now, they are trying again for that seed over here. Poke is going to be happening. Gia, careful. Gia has so far played a great game with these flanks. Now they're going for Stukov again. Apocalypse is out immediately. Stukov is gone. Last rights. Greymane is dead. They get the exchange. They don't have support, but they get the kill and they get the double. They take Garrosh down. This could be the first best of 3 victory for Team Kure. They get 2 kills here. Diablo dashes through Leoric. I mean, he's a ghost after all. And they get another one. They're gonna get the Garden Terrors. Here is the big opportunity for Team Kure to take the victory in this series. This would be such a blow for Team BananaH. This would be brutal for their ambitions in this round robin, in the standings. It would be fantastic, though, for Team Kure. Gia with big plays today. All of them just making huge moves. Mopsio again, the target at the front. He died 4 times already, but they're saving the day for him. Stukov, of course, still not with the team, so they might not be able to go for the core, but they can take keeps down. Leo about to reappear. Stukov back in 3 seconds. The first keep has now been destroyed, and they're going down for the bot lane in an attempt to take another keep apart. At the top, a similar thing is happening right now. Most of the heroes for Team BananaH are back, so they gotta retreat. They cannot do more. They don't want to fight without Stukov, and for very good reason. So Team BananaH lives to fight another day. The attack against Stukov was big. The Apocalypse did wonders to keep him alive a bit longer and allow counter kills, but now at least the keep has been destroyed. And I gotta say, given the situation, honestly, on the one hand, I expected more. On the other hand, I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking like, yeah, without Stukov, they can't go for anything. But this looked for a second after the fight was over as if we could see the 2-1 victory for Team Kure. But we're not there yet. They have 5 kills ahead, but it's still all reset with the exception of the keep in the middle. And from all the keeps, the one in the middle means the least. So that's the big problem. Kure, on the other hand, he's sitting at a 35-second cooldown reduction now on his last rights. So he can throw these things out like candy in those team fights. It's gonna be pretty difficult if they don't kill him early to deal with all that damage. And it's all about camps now. They're applying pressure at the top. If catapults, of course, in the mid lane at any point make it towards the core, then you already know that this is going to be a total shit show from the perspective of the blue team. I mean, catapults 24 minutes in, they just, I mean, they are monstrous. Here comes the play! Last rights, and Greymane is dead! Greymane is dead! They go for Malthael, they can't get him. Now they finally do, but he buys himself back. They also got Malfurion. A disaster for Team BananaH. Here comes the attack. They can go for the top keep first to start this up and then play the slow game. 6 kills ahead now. Malthael, they're waiting for him, and yes, he has his ult back in a couple of seconds. 8 kills by now. 8 stacks for Malthael. What a performance here by the red team. Absolutely fantastic. Best games that we've seen from them in this round robin. Thrall survives and the quest is completed for Malthael. What a game. What a series. And they actually pull it off. They didn't win a single map until today. Then they won the first one. Now they take the series. They shut down BananaH and his team. Hazo and the boys, they're losing. It's a victory, a 2-1 and a well-deserved one at that. Great performance here by Team Kure. Congratulations.